Where you are.
Okay, for the last 10 minutes, we have seen a very robust police response. We were at that intersection we've been showing you all evening with hundreds of protesters. Police came out, they pushed the crowd back, they were firing canister after tear gas. We were right in the middle of it. They were firing rubber bullets. A bullet hit me in the shoulder. We were backed up into the parking lot, and they've now moved us behind the police line, which is just up here. Hundreds of officers have managed to disperse that peaceful crowd. There was no violence in that crowd tonight, but of course this is a curfew now in Minneapolis, and the governor said they were going to do things differently tonight, and they have, sending hundreds of officers in a strong line to move those people back. We saw several people injured by either canisters or projectiles in that crowd. There is a triage tent at the end of this road with some medics. We can't see where that crowd is dispersed now, but police have secured this road and will not let us beyond this. The action took place over here. We backed up, came through the parking lot, and now we're held here. They are trying to clear this area and make that curfew hold. They're trying to keep a lid on the violence, but obviously antagonizing the people who were sitting in the square, in the intersection, till this time. They were told to not aggravate the police, but clearly there were agitators that were in amongst that crowd, people who had batons and full sort of riot gear. So there was an expectation that this might kick off, but police took a very determined action, about half an hour into the curfew, and cleared this place out. Now it's just a standstill. We can't proceed. People are over there, and we're waiting to see what happens next.
Susan, if I can just be a human being for one moment and ask you, between the tear gas and being shot in your shoulder, are you okay? Are you in any pain?
I'm not. Thank you for asking. I'm fine. I did get a canister in my rear end, so that's a little tender, but you know, I mean, we're doing our job. The thing is, we were in that parking lot all by ourselves with two other people behind us. Everybody else was cleared out, and they fired at us. They fired at us to clear us away, but we clearly had our television camera visible, so they were definitely taking an aggressive action to move everybody out, including us. That's what's happened in the last 10 or 15 minutes. Now remember that last night we've been telling you in this intersection it was a real hotbed. There were many fires, businesses were burned, there was a lot of looting. So you know, the governor and the mayor said that they learned from that experience that this curfew would not be respected. It wasn't again tonight, so definitely there was a standoff and something was going to happen. The police appeared immediately out of the blue from the sides, came in, formed that line and pushed them back. You know, there's a lot of people here who are upset about what's happening. We've heard many times that people who are the real agitators here are from outside Minnesota. I can't verify that. I saw a lot of kids last night who were taking part in looting and aggressive fires up and down at the 3rd precinct area. But clearly there's people who came here tonight ready for a battle. And the police were ready for them this time. There's been a sort of a modest response in some respects. Last night they couldn't control where the crowds were, and there were fires in multiple locations around this South Minneapolis. Well, tonight they decided to do it a little differently. I can't tell you what's happening beyond here at the end of the street, but certainly this was the different approach that the governor was talking about today, as he called up the full National Guard here in Minneapolis, in Minnesota, to deal with this terrible violence, which is wreaking havoc and really making a lot of people angry. Every night there's violence, and in the morning, citizens show up. We were there today. They're sweeping up the damage, the glass, the water, trying to show that for every aggressive action and violence, there's a reciprocal effect. The citizens here want people to know that they want their city calm. They don't like what's happened. They stand behind the justice part, but not like this in many cases.
CBC News' senior correspondent Susan Ormiston on the ground in Minneapolis. Thanks so much, Susan.
Okay.